So, who doesn't love out of the ordinary decks? I know I do. And I also really love playing Northern Realms. I think it might be my favorite faction, even though it's probably the most boring faction. I think that it just kind of fits my playstyle. It's usually control oriented, and I'm a control player. Like when I play other games, I like being reactive as opposed to the kind of like playing solitaire thing. So, with that being said, I have been playing a Pavetta themed, a Pavetta based deck as of late, and it hasn't been terrible. I don't think it's gonna like turn around and dominate the ladder, but it certainly has some pretty good matchups, specifically against consume monsters. If you can time Pavetta just after a monster's nest, a lot of times you can clear out all the neckers from their deck, and then that pretty significantly like dwarfs their power. Speaking of dwarfs, I also tech one Frost, as you'll see, which is usually saved for after you see them rifle through their first lights, and hopefully they're a Glice, so that you can kind of sneak it in. The Frost comboing with some of the other effects like Pavetta can also sometimes just kind of like sneaky take a round and really set you up for the future. So let's just go ahead and take a look at the deck. And then after we do that, we'll play some games. So for the golds, I run in Vernon because every now and then I still run into Yenkon, right? Yennefer the Conjurer, he just takes care of it. Otherwise, he's just like a standard 14-point swing who's control-ish. Triss is great at killing cows, killing Camby, doing the things. So I run Triss as well. It wouldn't be Radovid control / Northern Realms control without Villain Trettenmirth, aka Bork, aka Burn It All Down, Trogdor the Burninator. So we do run this. It's also got some like fun, interesting quirks where you play Pavetta to blow up the bottom half of the board, and then he can set up blowing up the top half. So it just makes for some fun interactions. And then finally we play Shiny because there's a lot of really good Shiny targets in the deck, as you'll see, one of them being Pavetta, but a few others as well. But hitting that Pavetta in round 2 or round 3 when it's gold and it can't blow up itself can be pretty critical at times. So that's the gold cards. For the bronze layout, we do the Temerian Foot Soldiers for thinning. Even though a lot of people have now shied away from the Reaver Hunters because they're not consistent, I still run them with the bevy of dwarves and consume monsters running around. I'm not seeing as many like hate cards to just keep these down. A lot of times the first one might get thundered, but your second one's usually clear. So it's just another form of thinning. And then the other nice thing is that at 5, it's not so high that you trip over Villain, and it's not so low that you trip over Pavetta too much. So if you can clear them out of your deck in round 1, it's great. And if not, it's not like a huge deal later on. We run Merg, right? Merg de Brock. Merg is great because it can help lower things so that they're on the same tier for Villain to blow them up. Similarly, it can lower things to be on the same tier for Pavetta to blow them up. Merg is just like the all-star utility, even after the nerf in this deck. We run Pavetta because that's kind of the whole like theme of the deck. Neneke because getting Pavetta back in round 2 with Neneke and then round 3 with Shani is fun. Priscilla because Priscilla is just that good. This card is so good that it's even worth occasionally tripping over it with your own Pavetta because it's just that good. Then we do the 3 ballistas because they're boring, but also because, again, they're 5, which is kind of like a sweet spot I find for this, and because they shoot things which help lower things for Pavetta to hit, or just bring things in line for Villain. So we run the ballista. We run Demetrium Bomb for dwarves and consume monsters. I think that's pretty straightforward. We're not really running buffs ourselves beyond like the Northern Realms passive, so there's like no fear in playing this. We run Elzer's Double Cross. So Elzer's will always find Pavetta. So again, that's why the 5s are so important with this build. Right now, this will always find Pavetta. And then if you have Pavetta, as long as you're keeping track of what you're playing, you're usually pretty safe with it, you know, being a known find, right? Like you usually know what you're going to get. And if you can burn through the 5s, Your 4s, because you're going to likely play the foot soldiers round 1. In rounds 2 and 3, if you just get stuck with Pavetta and you're holding on to the double cross, it can either find Merg or Neneke. Again, solid finds. Like, it ends up not being nearly as weird as you would think. The card's been pretty good. So Elzer's double cross finds Pavetta, finds a bunch of other stuff. 3 Thunders, because we're playing, again, a reactive deck, and we want to nuke the things that Pavetta or Villain can't get to, or just pull dwarves off before they're a problem. It's kind of a big deal. As I said, we tech in 1 Frost. It's usually really good against consume monsters. Like, if they pass the round to you, you can sometimes sneak in a win with just a Frost. If you've got, like, this and Pavetta, you can really just, like, nuke a ton of Neckers hardcore. And then finally, 2 First Lights. On the off chance you do run into weather monsters, we run 2. They're also great with the rally effect to just like pull out Reaver Hunters that are stuck because the first one gets nuked. I only run 2. I was running 3 for a while, but I was very consistently getting to the point where my 3rd First Light wasn't finding anything. This deck is pretty efficient between Priscilla, the Foot Soldiers, the Reaver Hunters, double cross, fishing things out, so on and so forth. It's pretty efficient at thinning itself. So 2 means I don't usually get through my entire deck, but I get through most of it. 3 meant I was tripping over them and I usually had a dead card. So that is the list. Hopefully you like this list and I can show you some quality games here. We're going to hop into some games and that you'll want to play it. As I said, I don't think it's necessarily going to like dominate the ladder, but I think it has some pretty favorable matchups. And it makes for what I think is fun gameplay. So let's dive into some games and have some fun. Alright, so here we go. We have Pavetta against what is likely Consume Monsters, which is typically a good matchup for us. So we're going to see if we can really showcase what the deck does. We like those. We like the Priscilla. We like 1 Reaver Hunter. We would like a Foot Soldier. I think we actually send Pavetta back because we're trying to double cross into it. I also don't think Neneke round 1 is necessary. Frost could be a good keep. And I don't think we need 2 First Lights. We would really still like 1 more Foot Soldier or an Elzer's double cross. So I think we're going to send one of these back. And instead, we got another Reaver Hunter. Okay. And it looks like it's going to be weather monsters. And not well, now what do we do? And not consume. So we went from having a good matchup to having a matchup with dead draws, like, and a horrible hand. This is likely just going to be a loss, right? Like, we still do this, right? We know he's just going to nuke it, but we still do it because we need to try to thin. This could not have went any worse as an opener. Merg goes in. We sent back 1 of our First Lights.
A word once given will never break.
If we do this, he's probably just going to pass. Let's actually Priscilla here and see if we can find a Foot Soldier.
I'd do it differently.
Come to Pappy.
They're still all 1s, but unless he does something to nuke the row, then a First Light takes the round back. But this is not looking good.
You will see it in your dream.
I think he's searching for something to nuke that. And we don't even get to pull the last Reaver Hunter out because of the Avalak. This is almost comical at this point how bad it is. Just
This is no time to
legitimately comical. He's just gonna nuke this. Like, there's no way he doesn't just Old Spirit Tip me. Or Lacerate me. Or Gaunter Odim me. Or any of the million ways he has to take care of me. Merg. I mean, we have 22 here. So again, Clear Skies does take the round, but if he were to pass right now, then we would be... Does take out the Priscilla. It's really early to Shani here, but it could be worth it. It's got to have more ways to apply fog, right? But I think we've danced it around it enough, and I think that we have to do it if we even want a chance at taking this round. Pulls the foglets off, buffs our guys back up. He still technically has the tempo lead. Alright, so he eats Priscilla. This could not have been a worse round for us. We're going to do that because that puts him at 1. It was that or Vernon. Vernon might have actually been the better play in saving this for in conjunction with this next round, but again, at this point, I think we just lose. This hand was full of calamity for this matchup. Alright, well, we can't Shani for Priscilla to try to find our second First Light anymore. We're not within striking distance without First Light. If we pass the round, he doesn't keep any strength, though. Like, he's already wasted Avalak, we're even on cards, and he doesn't carry strength over, so I think that we have to. This is such a bad card for us to have in hand for this matchup. Like, I cannot begin to express how boned we are for everything that we did, and assuming that it was going to be consume monsters. For it to end up not being consume monsters is really, really rough. So we have Neneke to maybe hit Murg, assuming he doesn't steal that as well. Taking the Priscilla hurt. No ifs, ands, or buffs about it. He opens with Frost. I guess we'll respond with Frost since it's a dead card anyway, and he's just trying to stall. The real question is, do we try to win with Villain or take the other options with us? Yeah, see, I think he has a bunch of, like, reactive, responsive stuff. Alright, I guess we'll do this. It'll likely either get him to pass or play a couple more cards and then pass. I don't think he's going to let that go the full 3 ticks. Because he wants to carry at least some strength over. It's probably a misplay to actually hold this for the round. We should have played this a round ago and then frosted as a stall tactic, instead of matching him frost for frost. At the time I wasn't committed to this being a round 2 play. Alright, there's his 3rd gold. So we have to decide if we want to waste the leader here. At this point I don't think he's running like Karen, so it's got to be either like Karen Thier or Imlereth or something. I think using this here is probably fair. Again, just as a stall tactic to make him hopefully commit more strength to the round. I know I don't want to commit more strength to the round if I can help it, and I think saving D-bomb is more important than the leader ability, so I think we do that. This is not the way I wanted to showcase this deck. We have no Pavetta. Poor matchup. Just kind of all around bad times. I mean, I think we just Thunder here, right? Because again, we're kind of in stall mode. I don't really want to waste any of the gold power if I can help it. So, interesting thought. His last card's probably Caretaker as well, but if it's not Caretaker and he doesn't have a Griff, well, we'll get, if we win this round, we'll get to go first at the start of next round. We might just D-bomb this here, and then as our first play, just go ahead and Shani that bad boy. That is a big risk, but I think we're going to do it. Yeah, I was kind of expecting that. So with that, we don't want him to eat it this round, so we want to stick it right back in play. So we do that. I can't Vanity Pass. If we wait and we have Shiny next round, we'll only get like 2 ticks on this. I mean, Shiny's still the keep either way. Is it? Is Shiny the keep either way? What do we fetch with Shiny next round? Because if we have to play Shiny first, then Merg doesn't do much for us. Still probably worth more. Yeah, alright, fine.
The north, Tamara.
He backed us into the corner, so we do this, and then he'll likely just pass this round. We go 2 cards each apiece into the next round. We're still probably going to go Shiny into this because it'll be worth the most like gold power on the board. He's thinking. I'd be curious what he would even consider playing there. I think he was considering playing 1 more card because then this would tick back and blow up, but alright, so that was maybe our best possible outcome. So again, I think that we go ahead and we grab Villain just because it's worth the most power. There's nothing to even do with the ticker. Unless he plays something that draws cards, there's no way that this will resolve. But it is worth 14, which is what Vernon was worth. But now we don't have to worry about having something on the board to hit. So he does that.
I'll do what I can.
We assault the gold power, and then just hope he doesn't have off in the last card here. Should be safe. Commander's Horn doesn't do it. Nothing big and swingy like that. It's all of his golds.
I am sadness.
Ah, yeah. Alright, so despite being a horrible matchup with a horrible draw, we get a win! That's fun. Alright, here we go. Monsters. Probably consume monsters. Let's hope it's not weather monsters like last time. Again, we'd kind of like to showcase what the deck is capable of. I think those two are great. We have one foot soldier. We would like a Reaver Hunter if we can find it. Still not finding a Reaver Hunter. Hope for no foot soldier. There we go. There's the Reaver Hunter. Alright. Doesn't matter that first Reaver Hunter is going to get nuked, let's be honest, but... He's going to open with a Necker. No, he opens right with the Crones, huh? So if I play this... Oh, he's only got 2 of them, so this is pretty safe. I doubt he just turns around and passes with that opener. Wow, he does. I am shocked. Like we go to -1, but we take the round.
Let's go.
Very surprised. Okay. I mean, yeah, he gets to keep a crone, and we're -1, but a round is a round is a round is a round. That means he has to give us Avalac while, like, we're on the offensive. If that makes any sense at all. You can also wait to play this round. Until it better suits us, like, because he basically has to all in. And he's got to use his leader ability to rally. That's a pretty big win for us. It's 1 Necker. If he doesn't have a Necker Warrior... I mean, let's be honest, he's going to have a Necker Warrior, right? If we shot this here, and he didn't have a Necker Warrior as the very next play... Pavetta would eat the rest, right? He's played 1 from the deck, he has 2 left. Yeah. I think it's worth the risk. I mean, he's gonna play a Necker Warrior, but I still think it's probably worth the risk there. We still have 1 Reaver Hunter left in the deck. I don't know if that's really worth a Neneke to find. But it might be.
Are you wounded? Again?
Let's go.
I mean, we've got Thunders, but like none of these are particularly saucy Thunder targets. At some point we're probably going to play both a combination of that and that this round. We want to play this so that we can shiny into it next round. We probably want to save Roche for the last round. So the rest is kind of all fair game, it's just using it appropriately. Alright, that's moderately tempting. He's played 2 Neckers. So played 1 Necker, we shot it. So then he went down to this plus 1 in the deck. This put 2 more in the deck. So he has 3 in the deck. This takes it back down to 2. I'm actually really tempted to nuke this, because then when this eats this, if he doesn't have another Necker Warrior, Pavetta does pull all the Neckers out. So... Oh, he's gonna monster nest. That's even better for us.
Don't recognize your own mates.
So the downside is that we're gonna lose our entire board minus Pavetta, and he'll have just this left. I think that's actually a pretty fair trade-off, all things considered.
I can't.
Oh no, because it's gonna eat that. Alright. That's fair. I forgot he had the one left. Math is hard. Just gonna stick some Varan warriors in there. Go, go, gadget Varan warrior. And yeah, I think it's safe to play this one now. We have enough stall tactics to carry us the rest of the way till that goes off. Kind of make him play around that a bit. Because again, we really just need him to commit as many resources as possible here, and also make him carry the least amount of quality to the final round. He hasn't actually played any gold cards yet, so... If we thunder here, we would eat this and our Pavetta. If we thunder here, this goes back to 1, goes back to 1, passes and eats that. He'll hop back up to like 13 and it would eat that and that. We're doing the dance. Alright. So right now it's going to hit the 8s, plus this, unless he plays something somewhere in the middle to interfere with the 8s. So like D-bombing here actually gains this power. Alright, let's see what kind of trick he's got up his sleeve. Fair. So he's going to eat what? The 8s. The 8s in that. Pork will eat everything else. And I think we pass here. Just pray he doesn't have like shackles. Alright. So the good news is that he's up a card, but he's not taking any strength with him. And he has to play first. First Light fetches a Ballista. He's looking at my grave, so he's trying to consider what he wants to caretaker in all likelihood. He did not hit Pavetta, which is pretty important. I think we burn in here.
That's what matters.
We just have to hope he doesn't caretaker Pavetta here. Because then Shani into Pavetta will wipe whatever the 2 non-gold cards is that he has off the board. Which is the ideal outcome.
Not your lucky day.
Oh, So he elects to go with a gold card. Probably trying to bait my Radovid out, huh? I mean, I can't really do this. And this is still not good value. Could just use this to nuke here, but that feels really bad. Or we could take this for like shitty Pavetta value, knowing that he could just caretaker it away anyway. But if he caretakers it away, it also nukes his own guy, so I think that's still a win.
Checkmate.
So he's either got to play another gold card here. Alright, D-bomb is a bit of an issue. If he does caretaker away Pavetta, we can still shiny what? A ballista? Which is worth what? 5 and 7 is 12, worth 15. And saving this, so we'd be at like 22. And he would be at what? 3. Yeah, I think we still take this route. Interesting. There's one card left.
Well, it's war. 7 limbs, blood, and guts.
Pavetta hurts us as much as it hurts him. I honestly think that we just take the Roche. It does the same thing that the Ballista does for us, but it gives us more power out of it.
The North, to marry.
I don't think that he can lock in 19 here, which is all that matters. I mean, I have to assume he's been sitting on Caretaker and he was trying to set up his own, maybe Caretaker Pavetta play. We just did a pretty good job of like dancing around it, trying to make sure that stuff were still either 6 or like less than 6, so that it was going to hit him the same way that it was going to hit us, right? But I don't think he can pull out more than 19. I think he's probably just roping us here, maybe at Assault. I don't know. I would probably do that if I just got Pavetted and it ate all of my Knuckers. Yeah, he's just passing. Alright. So, not Weather Monsters this time. That's what the deck is supposed to do in that matchup. That's why it's a favored matchup. It takes it. Glad I could at least showcase it in one of the games. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.